Hey everyone, my name is Matt. Welcome to my shop. Today's December 20th. This is my weekly shop update. So of course, the biggest thing that happened last week was this little guy. Little baby Max.
Your brother?
Is 5 days old now already. That was fast, huh? He was born last Thursday morning, and I want to say just a big thank you to everyone who left really amazing comments on the announcement video. Just really cool to just read all those and just know there's a lot of people that really care about us. So thank you so much for that. And of course, there's JR, already 16 months old?
17.
17 months old already.
Christmas Eve.
That's crazy.
I know.
So if you've been around long enough to remember when he was this size, look how big he is now. It's crazy.
Anyway, he was 8 pounds, 1 ounce, 20 and a half inches long. Yeah, he was bigger than his brother.
Yeah, he was.
So, born after only 2.5 hours labor, so it was a very, very quick one. We almost thought we were going to have him in the car. So
that was a fun week.
Yeah, that was eventful. Yay! And now you're a big brother.
Yeah. These guys are going to head back inside.
Yeah.
I actually did get some stuff done this week that we'll talk about. So last week, the weather really turned even worse here. It was like, I think -15 was the high on Sunday. It was pretty bad. But luckily, I guess, for me, the time worked out really well. I got to spend some time inside with the babies and my wife and the family and all that fun stuff instead of being outside working on the sawmill. But today and for the next few days, it's going to be a lot warmer. Today was like 35 or something, so it was very nice outside today. And I got out there and got some work done. Let's take a look at that. So I spent about 6 hours out here today, and I was able to get to this point. Luckily, I got through all of the little piddly stuff that the really detailed, boring stuff that just takes a long time, like which was getting the two wheels to be aligned and the blade to get tracking correctly on the wheels. But now I have both the wheels aligned really nicely. I have the idle wheel tracking really nicely, so the blade tracks really well on the wheels, and it's just looking really good. I had a few issues with the blade guards because of the way I built the blade guards before I had totally calibrated and aligned everything. So I need to make some more cutouts in the back side of the blade guard for the wheels, because the mounting point was actually like about 1/8 to 1/4 inch further back, so I need some more clearance for that wheel to go back through the back side of the blade guard a little bit more. But that's all right. I'm just happy because it's going well. At this point, in theory, it should work because the blade isn't falling off of the wheels. So, in theory, it should cut a log. So hopefully, I don't want to say anything to jinx myself too much, but hopefully the motor still works. I don't know why it wouldn't, but hopefully it still works. And the last thing to do is to get those blade guides on there. And the blade guides are going to really get the blade cutting nice and parallel to the bed. So those guides will be able to be adjusted up and down to get the blade nice and parallel, forward and back to get the whole 1.5 inch width of the blade parallel to the whole length of the bed. So that shouldn't be too bad. I don't think it's going to be too much of a crazy thing. But let me show you how everything looks behind this thing. So this setup on the idle side worked really nicely. Having these jack bolts installed made this process really quick. I didn't have to worry about shimming anything, and I still have to cut and fit a shim in here, but at this point it should be good enough for a test. The in and out bolts, which I haven't even locked down yet, doesn't really matter I guess, but these made it really easy to get the placement of the shaft in and out really easy. I did the alignment from one wheel to the other by measuring the distance from the rim of the wheel to the beam on both sides of the wheels, on both wheels, so that they were in the same plane in and out, and that's how I got that one in there. And then the lateral adjustments were pretty straightforward and easy to use as well. So one last thing I want to mention, and all this stuff is going to be in the alignment video, but to get the the tip of the wheels the same on both of them, I ended up using one of these angled things from in the shop. And all I did was take this angled cube thing, stick it to the drive wheel, zero it out, and bring it over here. And then I could tip the wheel until the reading was 0 on here as well, or close enough to it. So real quick, here's a shot of what's going on back here. There's that tensioner, and I have a nice little spot on the beam there for the pump. So I think I might end up just mounting that there. This side is pretty much the same thing as the other one. Got all the adjustments and stuff down there. And real quick, here is kind of an example of the part of the guard I had to cut away, because the hub here had to actually extend further back than the guard would let it. So a little bit of hack work with the angle grinder and back in business. But there it is. So hopefully tomorrow I'll have the sawmill actually making a cut. I'm hoping to do a live stream of that tomorrow. Hopefully everything will work, but if it doesn't, which is totally possible, I'll put up a quick video of just the cut happening so you guys can see it all instead of having to wait for that video about calibrating and setting up the saw to come out. Now I have been working on my secret Christmas presents out here in the shop this week, so I did get to do some woodworking. I did it mostly yesterday as the weather was starting to warm up, and it felt really good just to be out here. I was sanding and I loved it. I haven't been doing enough woodworking for a long time, so just being out here and just using a sander, it was the best feeling in the world. So no more complaining about not liking sanding. So let's take a look at some viewer projects. First this week is a 7-drawer walnut dresser by Ryan, and he built this dresser for his son Vincent. He tried to make it mostly with hand tools, but did revert to the bandsaw and a table saw a few times. But most of the joinery is cut by hand. The drawer pulls are walnut glued to aspen, which was growing in his backyard. He milled up the aspen and dried it in his garage previously. There's a link down in the description to an album that contains a whole bunch of build pictures, so you can follow the entire build process from start to finish. Next is a wedding gift box by Matt. This box is made from walnut, spalted poplar, and koa. He used box joints to the main carcass, but what's interesting here is he added miters to the top fingers of the lid, something that I really haven't seen before, which I thought was really cool. The handles are through mortise, and the removable trays have simple dovetails, but provide a nice piston fit. Next is this really cool log lamp by Andreas. He originally planned on using birch for this, but it did not quite work out, so he ended up using some black alder. And this was his first time milling up his own lumber. I thought this was really cool, and I kind of think I might want to make some of these. Maybe the shop needs some lamps. And the last project this week is this stack of pancakes by Fred. I am really surprised it took this long for someone to submit pancakes for a viewer project. If you don't know, I love pancakes. So that's about it right now. It's going to be a pretty busy few weeks here. One last thing I'll just let you guys know about the farmhouse table build. They'll be getting going over on the Wood Whisperer Guild in the start of January, so that's a few weeks away. So if you pre-ordered that project, that'll be getting going pretty soon here. And if you're interested in that, I'll leave links down in the description so you can check that out as well. I think that is literally it this week. Pretty exciting week, and this coming week will be probably even more exciting. So thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments about anything I talked about today, anything on the sawmill, anything back here in the shop, please feel free to leave me a comment. As always, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking.